Regular board meeting, December 11th. Does say 7 p.m. To order at 6:30, because that's our normal scheduled meeting time. And I actually got 18:32, so we'll call that. Roll call, Matt Hona.
Greg Phillips.
Chris Williams.
Mark Howard.
Dave Rain.
Okay. Chris is excused. Anything to add to the agenda?
I won't have reports since it's just the 11th of the month. I'm not gonna have reports for the monthly activity for the safety and the vehicles. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
I should have get up there.
Don't see. Okay, yeah, City of Weston's on there. I don't see a City of Pendleton IGA, but maybe an update there. I'll just, we could speak to that good order if that makes sense, or just put it under old business number 2. Old business number 2. IGA with Pendleton. Okay.
I move we approve the agenda with amendments.
Okay, it's been moved by Greg.
Second.
Second by Chris. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, public comment. Seeing none. Financials. Those came out just yesterday or the day before. Joanne got them out just
I think just
recently.
Yesterday or the day before, maybe.
Yeah.
So I had a question, and maybe Andy can answer it. Andy, your salary for November looks low.
Yes.
Is that being addressed?
Yes.
I thought we took care of that last meeting. That's why I was
Right.
curious.
Yeah. It's been addressed.
Okay.
We talked about it. So
Okay.
we're just waiting for
So if the next payroll cycle is going to be fixed?
we moved I brought the face hub into you and saying it was about $10 off, $10 an hour off because of the switch from 40 hours to shift.
10 hours or 10,000 hours. What did you just say?
$10 an hour.
$10. Oh,
It was like $10 an hour difference. Yeah.
sorry. I heard something else. Sorry.
Like $10 an hour.
I was really focused on your retirement thing. Be like mine was. So I will put more focus on it tomorrow.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
That's the only thing I saw.
Those are financials we approved.
Okay, been moved by Greg.
Second.
Seconded by Mark. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Payment of the bills.
Maybe we paid the bills.
Okay, moved by Chris. I'll second. Seconded by Mark. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, minutes from last meeting. That. These, were these in there? They were in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't mark anything I saw, so.
Okay.
I move we approve the minutes from last meeting.
Okay. Moved by Chris, seconded by Greg. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. And I will just get these signed, give it back to you. The 11th?
Yeah.
Do you not need anything else in the folder, in the red folder?
Huh?
Do you not need anything else in the red folder?
What do you mean? I don't know. What, is there something else in there?
I'm presuming so. Joanne handed me that and she said, put this in the stack.
This is our agenda for tonight.
Oh, okay.
So,
Good.
thanks. Very good. So on that, it's 11, hopefully, oh yeah, right the right date today.
Into the day.
So IGA with the city of Weston. I drafted up a pretty, well, I'll just start back at the beginning. I had a chat with the mayor last week. Might have been the week before. I think it was the week before. Talked to him a little bit about the potential for an IGA. And so tried to get a draft out. He said because I think we already went through and approved the development of it, but we don't have
Right.
a resolution approving the draft IGA.
Right.
So this might have to hold off. He thought if he could have a draft of that by tomorrow, by Friday, he can get it out to the city council. They'll have a few days to review it, and then they can take it up at the city council meeting next Tuesday. And I told him I'd be happy to come to the city council meeting and, explain or help walk through it if there's any questions.
And we're gonna need you to do that.
And so I was trying to get it out to him by Friday. And then I thought, well, shoot, we're having our meeting this week, so I can get it at least in front of the board for review. And maybe we do approve it, but we may have to tweak some language based on what they say. So I don't know if I want to approve it as written when the language will change, or if we just can do this and then we enter into it and then we tweak the language.
Sure.
If folks are mostly there. So we can kind of talk about that in a little bit.
Man, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I meant to write that so that if you wanted to make a couple small tweaks, you could. If it says something like amended or agreed to as written, I made a mistake.
No, I think it'll probably be okay.
Because I figured you would want that leverage. You'd want a little bit of leeway if you needed it.
And then this would give us, so this says, we agree to enter into IGA with the city of Weston for financial and administrative services as detailed in the IGA document. And so that document is there.
So you still have
That probably meets the intent, for the board. So I got that out to you guys a few days ago. I hope there was enough time at least to review it. I got a couple comments back. Chris Werland. Pull that up. That's the wrong one. Actually, I don't think it is, because I think I titled that email IGA draft. I think no, can't be. Chris replied. Chris had a concern with the
amount we're paying.
The amount we're paying, yeah, and I'm looking.
She sent her reply on Monday, the 8th.
Yeah, it's not actually helpful, because I wrote there's IGA and IGA draft, and I think there's more than one IGA draft title of message,
Oh,
and so it's lumping all of that conversation into one thing, and it's not popping up here, and this is driving me nuts, and this is so
Well, the one
professional.
that she commented on as draft IGA with Weston was the tagline.
Popping up in my.
Marcus, that's the one where she put the $30 per hour and the 45. Okay.
I usually turn off the conversations feature in the email client just for
I
that reason.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to
Yeah.
do that. So
Trying to be too smart.
somebody wouldn't mind pulling that up, because
yeah. So here's a comment, and it's based on the stuff outlined in number 1 there. And it says our paramedics make like $25 an hour with all their experience in classroom training. I personally don't believe a secretary should make more money per hour than our top medics with a degree. Right now, if we hired a temp, from the temp agency, they only bring home 17. I think that's a slap to our team. I'd be more happy with maybe 17 to 20. What does she, whomever, make per hour at the city?
Okay, I did find the right one. So, the math I was using, and I used 30, and I probably tried to be pretty transparent on what that was, but the way I intended that, and we can change some language, is that we will pay the city the total sum of actual payroll expenses incurred. So whatever those are is the intent. So if it costs more than that, we'd pay more than that. If it's less than that, we'll pay the less than that. I did some math in there to kind of give an idea, and the $30 an hour includes what I would call OPE. So that's the other payroll expenses. So that's insurance and retirement and all those things that go. And so I used the $20 an hour as kind of my probably going to be somewhere in this ballpark, and I'll add it, 50% to get the OPE rate.
Right.
So that's where the 30 derived from. And then if she's working 30 hours a week with the city, past 10 hours will put her into overtime. And I don't even know if she's got 50 hours available, because that's a lot of hours to work. But that would give us the basis to cover that at the extreme end, is if we
She
had to
says
pay,
she does have 50 hours available.
if we had to pay another 10 hours at the overtime rate, so 30 times time and a half would be 45, including OPE, and at 20 hours at those rates, I think it comes out to 3,000. And so that's kind of just don't exceed 3,000 per month.
Right. And honestly, I don't know that we'll need more than 10 hours per, on a regular basis.
We might not.
But we should have it in the agreement that, yes, if we
go over that,
then we cover the overtime.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it should be less than that, but essentially, and then if there is more, because if it ebbs and flows a bit, that gives us the margin to, with approval, you can work another 5 hours to finish that thing.
Sure.
But I think I think she'll figure out this is the amount of time I need to do these things.
Yeah.
And so that was the intent there.
So will that language change when we find out from the city exactly what her wages plus OPE is?
So I think, and maybe this is a smarter thing to put in an IGA, is we'll pay for actual expenses, and we don't want to exceed, if it's 3,000 a month or 4,000 a month, we don't want to exceed that.
No.
And just take that other stuff out so we don't get hung up on that.
Yeah.
And so, because I thought about that later, maybe it was too much information, just delete it and be simple.
I think that would make more sense. That way we're not having to try to figure out, and we're not, locked into a specific number. If, the city is only really paying out, say, $20 an hour, for everything. I know that's a ridiculous number low, but, then we're paying X amount more. So, if in the language in here, we agree to pay the expenses for that person for the 10 hours, I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah, those were really just estimated in my head to give us something.
I think that's smart, Matt. Let's just leave. We'll pay the city the total sum of actual payroll expenses, total per month not to exceed 3,000 without prior approval.
Okay. And then that should cover that. Then, we got the purpose in there.
So one thing that I would like to discuss, D, the payment will be made by the first of each month. That's pretty tough if, let's say
that's a placeholder date.
okay, yeah, that's a pretty quick turnaround.
Whatever the date.
24 hours for them to figure up their bill and for us to write a check.
And maybe I need to say the first of the month for the prior month, or the 15th for the prior month. And I don't know.
Let me speak to that.
Yeah. Something would have to fit into the city's.
The city has a big concern. They would like to hire her full time, but they haven't got enough money. And they're hoping next year to have enough money to hire her full time. Okay, but this year they say, because I said to Mike, the city is going to pay her bill, and we're going to, and the
fire district's gonna reimburse you. We can't afford that. We have to have money the same month that we pay it. And so, I don't think it needs to be on the first, but I think it needs to be the same month.
Oh, I agree. So I think, let's say you finish a month by the 10th, we could put in the 10th or something.
10th is
That's,
good.
that seems like a reasonable
I think
amount
the
of
10th
time
works fine.
for them to bill us and us to get a check to them.
When is the payroll due? Asking for the city, Greg, do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
So payable on the 10th.
That'd be my suggestion.
And this needs to go to Mike too, and the council, and they might say, hey, we need it to be on the 7th, or we
That's
need it.
Oh, sure.
20, we just need to pay. That's the intent, is that we're paying as she works, we pay. She works, we pay.
I think that's all the city wants.
Okay. And then. Let's see, so the mutual is just kind of what's happening.
Oh, the city responsibilities. I'm wondering if we need to add a couple. I don't know how inclusive that list is, but I hate to.
Well, it's included but not limited to, but.
Okay, it does say, but not limited.
But if there's some specific, and this was to get us started to thinking, these are the things that.
Like, make sure that they have the person that can do this.
That I could remember.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head that we needed based on.
So I
essentially
think,
what's not in the IGA with the.
like
City of
month-end
Pendleton.
reconciliation, that's something that Joanne currently does, that the city of Pendleton wouldn't be doing. And I didn't see where necessarily that fit.
Well, okay.
Well, wouldn't that be under, so be the board packets financial statements?
Well,
Yes, but no.
yes, but you've got to do that, the reconciliation before you can generate the board packet, So yeah, I guess
Okay.
just want to make sure that nothing gets lost, I guess. That's,
So
You're saying the exact, I'm sorry to jump over.
reconciliate
Yeah, exactly.
financials is,
Yes, that's a piece of, what Mark's saying, it's a piece of information that's in the financials. It's in there. But the work has to be done to create it.
yeah.
so reconcile. The financials.
Yeah.
And the other intent too, and this is what I'll talk to them about, is I have a general idea of the duties that she's performing for the city.
Hmm.
And what we're asking seems to be very much in alignment with what she's already doing for the city, at least a majority of it. And
Cool.
so, and I think I understand that, right? No?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe I'm way off then.
Well, first of all, the city is very pleased with it, very pleased with it, which is obvious because we want to hire her full time. But I'm just telling you what this lady tells me. I said to her, are you a bookkeeper? She says, no. I says, do you understand bookkeeping? Accounts payable? She says, no, I've never done accounts payable. I said, okay, are you willing to take training in accounts payable? Because I said, reconciling the books at the end of the month is not intuitive. It's something you have to learn how to do. She said, oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to learn how to do that. I said, okay. So, excuse me. I'm concerned as the one who signs checks. You and I are concerned, and that if she gets into this thing without the necessary training, she can make and tries to do it intuitively instead of by the general accounting practices. She can make some pretty big mistakes fast. And so I think that we need to explore the possibility of having Joanne who is an excellent trainer. Having Joanne spend an extra month or so training her how to do the reconciliations, how to manage those books so that we minimize the number of mistakes that she's made during the first quarter or half year.
Dave, I feel like you have a thought on that.
I have a thought. I do.
Me too.
That's an excellent idea. We should have been July. Not now. I don't want to be, I'll do what you guys say, but I don't want to be the one to ask her to do that. I'll do what you say, but it's a tough one. It's a tough ask.
No, I get that and I understand that. And she's given us a deadline. And she's planning on that. And I'm not saying that we need to change that. And yes, we would love to do this in July. We'd love to have a CBA done in June, and we'd love to have an IGA with the city of Pendleton in July, but that didn't happen either. And so
Well, she could take a course.
things take longer to get into place.
My daughter's a CPA for a large seed company in Hermiston. And so she came over here to work with the city and help them with their problem. And so she talked to Danielle for a while. And she said, the girl's great, but she needs training now. So she gave me a couple of courses she could take. But it's going to take a lot longer for her to learn it from a classic bookkeeping application than to learn our application, which is basic bookkeeping, but it's unique in some ways. And so I think it would be way easier. And I'll ask Joanne if that's an issue. I'll be glad to ask her, since I'm a check signer, and she knows that I'm very irritatingly picky, I think is her phrase. So I think she'll listen to me. She may say no, but at least I think that's the best solution. Is if she would spend, not the holidays, the holidays are gone, but first of the year, if she would spend some time with her, I think that would help.
I agree, if she's willing. If she's not willing, we gotta come up with another plan then.
Yeah.
And there are some other options. I think Chief, you sent an email regarding a temp, trying to hire a temp person to kind of navigate the transition between payroll between Jensen and Spratling and the city of Pendleton. And I don't know if that's the same thing or not, or just the financial transition that we've got to do on the admin side. And again, this is only temporary to the fact that if the city finds enough money next fiscal year and July 1 hires her on full time, we may be right back where we started.
What's the software that
So
Joanne uses? You know?
QuickBooks.
QuickBooks? Good.
And so, and on the flip side, if she works 40 hours a week for the city, she may still have the ability to work 10 hours for us if she can if she figures out how to get it into that kind of a window a week. We may still be so there may be an option, but I don't want to pretend like there will be.
Well, I don't know that there will be either, but I know she would like to do that.
Yeah.
I know she would like to have it.
And that'll also give us time to make sure everything's working and on both sides of the IGA, both this IGA and the city of Pendleton IGA.
So somebody's gonna have to teach her QuickBooks, because the city doesn't use QuickBooks. We use some ridiculous software that really nobody understands. So
Maybe it's time to switch the city over to QuickBooks.
We are
But that's not the meeting we're talking
no,
about.
but we are gonna absolutely switch it to something that somebody understands.
So there is, QuickBooks does offer online training.
Absolutely, and it's
So-
so training.
I wonder if we should do a combination of pay her to take that training, and maybe see if towards the end of the month, once she's had a chance to go through that training, when it's time to start paying some bills and generating the financial reports, maybe you could sweet talk Joanne into, showing her, being there with her while she does that the first time. Because somebody has to show her how to get into and get the statements for our Oregon accounts, how to transfer money around.
Absolutely.
I assume that's not your specialty, Dave, right? Yeah. I just
I have the passwords for it, and that's.
yeah, you've got other things you got to deal with.
And on the transfer, well, there's probably more than one transfer that needs to happen on the payroll side. That was something that, we'll get into that. that transfer is made by the district for the payroll is what it says in the IGA with Pendleton. And that could be Tony had a simpler way to do that possibly, but that would require them to be able to make those transfers. I'm not sure if we want to go there or not. So that's a different conversation, but it has to do with transfers because that does need to happen.
Also, what I'll do if you'd like, my daughter has worked with Danielle and also teaches QuickBooks. And so I think she could probably give me best way to get her trained quickly and accurately,
That'd be great.
and I can pass that on to you. Maybe we could even convince her to come out here free and do some training.
Okay.
Even if we had to pay her, I mean.
Well, yeah.
She does not need the money.
So back to the city responsibilities. There's a reconciliation of financials. Is there anything else in there that needs to get major things that need to be added so they're there or?
I mean, you've got accounts payable, receivables, minutes, board packets.
I mean, it's kind of the stuff that was on, I started from what was left out of the IGA because in the Pendleton IGA, it spells out all the stuff that the city does for us.
Mhm.
And then on the admin side and then payroll, it's kind of, I mean, it's almost should say admin because so on the payroll side, we do the timesheets, we do the transfer to cover, we do the financial administration of the budget, the board packets, the accounts bill, and that's all these things right there was this stuff because this is what's left for us to do.
Sure.
So is there anything that's missing that's a big ticket, I guess,
I don't see any, but I'm not qualified to judge.
for the IGA document? So right now the changes I have is to take out, so the recitals are good. The intent is essentially that's the intent. Mutual obligations, I'm gonna pull the hours out. So line item A and B will come out, so
Yep.
C will be bumped up. And then D, I'll add the 10th or whatever suggested date the city has, I'll kind of. I have left in there that we'll evaluate every year in March in case this does go forward, because the intent would be for this to go forward until something else
Right.
supersedes that, so we don't want to have to redo this. So yeah, under the financial administration, if there's no other. Oh no, reconcile financial statement, I'll put in there. The general conditions is we can terminate either party with 30 days written notice,
Mhm.
or anytime
It's mutually.
that we mutually agree, or 30 days written notice, we're out or they're out.
Number 5, I think PFD needs to be changed to City Weston.
You are right. Wonder where that came from.
I think it was a cut and paste that came out.
It wasn't a cut.
And
I
it-
never cut anything out.
and I don't think prorated from the beginning of the month because we're paying for actual hours work. So it's not like a monthly fee. I think we need to tweak that wording a bit.
So number 5, that's general. Number 5 needs reword. B, F, and voted. And I don't know if January 1st is, like, that's ideal. I don't, maybe they'll get there and maybe that'll work actually, because it's fairly, anyway, so I think we can do this, but those are the edits that I have. And Chris, that should address Chris's concerns if that stuff is just out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like it.
You guys want to move with a resolution then for this?
So moved.
Well, I gotta read it first.
There you go. No, you just.
So I have before me resolution 2026-4. By this resolution, the East Umatilla Fire and Rescue Board of Directors agrees to enter into an agreement with the City of Weston for financial and administrative services as detailed in the IGA document. So do I have a motion to seek?
So moved.
Okay. So, moved by Greg,
I'll second it.
second by Chris. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay.
Never know what my role or capability is of talking as an assistant chief or whatever. And yeah, you guys already signed it. I have some real, I wasn't trying to time this. I have some great concerns. We just cleaned up a bunch of stuff, thankfully with Joanne's help. Because somebody came in and did all this stuff and it wasn't done right or whatever happened. And I know we're kind of desperate to get somebody to replace Joanne because she's awesome. But we're kind of heading down the same path. I don't know this lady. I'm not trying to disparage her at all.
Oh, I understand, you're not.
It's like on the job training.
She doesn't know what she doesn't know.
I know, and she might have the capability to learn, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's not happening. I don't care if you're Einstein. My concern is we're heading down the same path. We're hoping that she works out.
Well, my daughter may say, you can't do this.
Yeah.
You can't get her trained well enough to manage your books. The reconciliations are tough, and so she may say, no, you know, that's a mistake.
Yeah.
And she'll know because she runs remote offices that does this all the time, hires these people to work in these. She says they're hard to find in this county.
Sure.
Very, very difficult to find.
I jokingly say, finding a unicorn.
I think I appreciate your comment, Jeremy. I think the reason that I'm less concerned, I mean, I have a level of concern. But since we have Pendleton taking over our payroll and taxes, the paying the taxes and reporting the taxes, that's sort of like, really don't screw that up.
Sure.
And I'm very comfortable helping look over, the accounts payable, and most of our accounts receivable goes through tactical. So I feel like, yeah, it could be tough for a couple of months, but I feel like we're in a position where it's doable, even if we're not going to be up to full efficiency.
Mowing the yard, that's on the job training, that's easy. This is not in the same realm. I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking. There are certain things that we have here. Yeah, show up, we'll train you how to do it, but it's just. Because we've had this, how many times have we been through this cycle?
Yeah, I get that, and I trying to get something in place for the short term, and this may be a short term thing, and I don't think this doesn't take it off our plate completely by any means, and so, and we'll know fairly quickly whether there's potential or not, right? It's gonna get bumpy either way because
It's not gonna be here forever.
in 20 days,
Sure.
we're not gonna have anything.
Yep.
And so this gives us at least something to get there. And if it's after a month or two, like, this isn't gonna work, because we gotta figure out something else to do. So that's where I'm at with the.
Did we negotiate any of the amounts with the city of Pendleton? I'm not stumping for them, I wasn't involved, but I mean, I don't know for the AP services, how much they were charging, but did we just take what they said, or was there? Really, does it cost, I mean, does it really need to be that much for that service? And they may just say, no, this is it, take it or leave it, but.
That's the way it was for what was proposed in the IGA.
Okay.
And that could be the option in the future, is to re-navigate that after they've got the payroll under their belt and figure that out. And maybe there's, maybe that is an avenue. Maybe that's an option downstream. I haven't written that off as an option, because they may figure out that, hey, this is pretty simple and for a few extra, we could do this and, but again,
A lot of unknowns.
well, there's a lot of unknowns and we're navigating the whole, I want to take some pretty, I'm going to say baby steps in this, and I know that gets overused, but there's perception that Pendleton is taking over our fire department.
Yep.
And I don't want to do anything so fast that people just, that's all they're seeing right now. And if we can slowly, show that that's not the case, because that is not the intent of any of this. This is a way, this is the only way that I see we can move forward right now with all the things that are happening, to make it sustainable. And
We need to be calling it a partnership, because that's really what it is.
yes,
It
It's
is.
that kind of.
And-
it's not a-
but that is the perception, and until we can show that that's not what's actually happening, then we got to just kind of take our time with these things. And
I think it's very interesting that when I asked him, standing there in the corner, how many people are you gonna have to add to your staff in order to do this? He said, none. We're gonna do it with the capability we have now. He's being paid a lot of money to put these people to work. And it doesn't make sense. How can you do all this work without adding any people? And so I think he does have capacity, that I think it is negotiable. And I can see his opening point is non-negotiable. I always started that way. And but I certainly plan to negotiate. So I think it's possible, and I think that it may be premature to do that, but I certainly think it's possible.
I think one of the things that's going to help make this new person successful is she doesn't pay an invoice until one of you three guys code it appropriately. Because she's not going to know anything about where power bills go, about uniforms or parts bills. You know, you guys have to give her good information to work off. I assume it's a her, right?
It is.
Yeah, okay. I don't know this individual, who this individual is, so.
And then, I'm sorry, Chris, that's a real small hurdle for us, because we're doing the now. We date stamp it, we sign it. And then we put the actual line in the budget that each invoice is to be paid from. So to us, to me, that's no challenge. That's
Great.
The invoice
It's already
has
there.
on it, the line item is applied to, the signature of the person that authorized it, and then a verification of the bill against the check. So, 3 of the 5 measurement tools are already done. Now, if they're done wrong, then it's really the guy that signed the
Sure.
that signed the invoice. He codes it. Joanne doesn't code it, but she does a few, but not very.
Yeah.
Not very many. And she gives them back. If it doesn't have a code on it, she gives them back. I believe
that's exactly right. I can't. Well, it's only been about 3 or 4 times when she's been
Like,
able
the
to
finger at you.
yeah.
What am I supposed to do with this? And then I just start reaching for the drawer, grab the stamp, and grab the budget, and anyway.
When I signed my first check for her,
Yeah.
I gave her a piece of paper. I said, "This is what I have to have before I can sign the check." I think we're gonna get along all right, because these 3 are already done by the person, blah, blah, blah. She says, "But we'll just see how many mistakes you can find." And I said, "Don't worry, I will." I found 1 so far.
Well, thanks for letting me voice my concerns.
Well, we want to hear your concerns. Your concerns are important.
I know, but parliamentary procedure.
Oh,
Well, it does matter.
we're a team. We need to hear everybody.
and again, there's more options out there as we get into this stuff. We've closed out some things, and I guess that's where I would go next, is the IGA with the city of Pendleton. I do have a signed copy here. This is a copy. I signed that today in Pendleton, so Tony has the original. So this one is fully executed and signed. This is a copy that I'm keeping, but you guys all have one in your inbox. So it's there. Both boards, you should have it momentarily as soon as the internet does its job. And if you want a copy, like a physical copy, and Chief wants to make a copy of these today, I've got it. So This one is executed and done. And again, the intent there is to, fix some of the challenges that we've had, address some of the challenges and fix some of the issues that we've had for a bit, on the admin side, on the payroll side. There's, we had that whole packet of staff concerns. And again, a bunch of that centered around payroll, salaries,
Right.
pay schedules, hours. We have a collective bargaining agreement in place now that spells out all those things of what folks get and are entitled to. We have payroll services now. Hopefully this is a smooth walk into Pendleton with that. They're trying to get I think tomorrow they want to get now that this is executed, they'll be reaching out to get the QuickBooks stuff so they can get that to their payroll department, and start processing now so that they can start running stuff in January.
Oh, okay.
And so hopefully what that means for staff in the department, it means we've got a professional service that provides that right now for an entity. And what we're getting from the city of Pendleton is that payroll department, which isn't the fire department. We're getting that from the city of Pendleton. It matches what they're doing with the fire department. We're getting the HR department that's the city of Pendleton, not Pendleton Fire. And so we are getting those benefits, and that's what that cost is. We're not just getting a person, we're getting access to a bunch of staff. And again, this is a change, but it helps address those challenges that we've had. And I hope folks realize that, and I hope staff realize that this is a way for us to get back on track and be fair and be, live in 2025 and 2026 moving forward. We will have to relook at this in March, make sure it's valid. So probably our March meeting, we'll be looking at it. If everything still is running smooth, we get into there, we'll go into the next, phase in July, and it's pretty simple going forward. We don't have to really do anything. And the same thing will be with the city of Weston, is that one will term in July. It's there to extend, so we don't just have a clean break if it's going smooth, but we have a process to say, hey, we're just gonna end it in June or at the end of June, and we've got option B or C or D for July 1. And so this gives us the framework, I think, to start doing the next one and to get to that next level that we get to. So I've spoke my piece on that. Any other comments or questions on the IGA? Okay. Move into new business, district Christmas party.
I didn't know
Pretty good
Chris
event.
wasn't gonna be here. I thought she'd give us a nice little roundup on how it went, so that's my fault. That's listed there, and I did not know, I didn't connect the dots that Chris was gonna be here. So
Well, I think most of us were there. It was well attended, good event. It was very nice to see folks, just kind of relax a little bit, have some really good food, and
lots of it.
just, enjoy an evening. So,
We were very, very sorry to miss it. It's always fun.
Andy beat me at some games.
Play with Matt.
Anything else on the Christmas party?
I'll just say that I know it's really convenient to have it down at the Memorial Hall, because there's so much seating and there's the kitchen right there. But I do think it's kind of cool that we were in our own house, and I'm sorry, that was kind of neat.
That's a good thing.
There's more space there. I know it's a different from tradition, right? But it's more open, and it feels, it is more spacious. So
Well, build a new tradition.
the setting, I think, is good. Chief, you said the reports weren't ready.
Yeah,
That's understandable. and as well as the chief's report. Do you have any sneak preview of that, or did that come out? Did that come
I
out?
sent that on the second or the third, really, really early. I
Okay.
wrote it down on the phone.
Okay.
Did you send one?
Yeah,
It's probably there.
Yes, sir.
we're just, as everybody knows, we're gonna get our weather pretty much probably in January and February. And we'll get this crazy transition of sometimes really, really warm, like it was 65 the other day. People were probably running, you know, but as long as and if any of you need shoe chains, they're $30. It's cheap insurance. You take one Peter Pan and you have a lifestyle change. It's just not worth it. So you guys do this for your own time for free. So the district can pony up $30 and get you a set of shoe chains if you need them.
Thank you. I'll move us into the good of the order.
Nothing for me.
Nothing.
It's not anything that's actionable. I've been working with a previous coworker of mine about all of our Microsoft licensing, computer stuff. And for a pretty small amount, we can take it. Microsoft's licensing is, I deal with it every day and it's confusing. Anyway, by adding one license, it's basically $250 a month per person, so a small increase. That wraps up everything. By doing that, all of the computers will be tied into the domain. I don't know how many of you have actually worked on a big Microsoft network, but problem we have right now is theoretically somebody, well, this actually happened. Somebody can wipe their computer, their own machine, and then I can't get anything back off of it. It's a whole bunch of little loose ends like that that we need to take care of. So this does that. It also gives users a certain amount of storage, gives me a whole different level of control. It's going to make it much easier for the staff. Right now, I don't really know what they all use. We have one machine that they do EMT reports on, and there's another machine that Max was using, and there's Joanne's computer. It's just kind of sort of worked and been bodged together. Part of it is I'm trying to keep the cost down. Realistically, with the full-time paid staff now, that's just not working. So ultimately, what my vision is in what's the copy room, 2 desktops. There are no shared logins anymore. Everybody has their own. I mean, you guys, all the staff already have their own logins, but it doesn't work on the computer because the computer doesn't know anything about it. You have to go to office.com and log in. Want to do away with all of that kind of stuff. So plus it gives us the ability to anything that's stored on the computer is saved in the cloud. So if the computer flames out, we got the stuff and a whole bunch of pieces. And it's like $250. I think it's $2.50.
$2. Thank you.
Yeah.
Not $250. $2.50. Yes.
Per user
$2
per month?
Yeah.
That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
How does that stack up to what we're doing now?
It goes on top of what we have. So right
So
now,
for
it's
an
like-
extra $2.50
yes,
per month.
right. We actually
Per
have
person per month.
Right. We have the basic stuff going now. It's $8.50 for basic, business basic, which gives you, that's what you guys have. You can log in and use Office online. It's not the full version like Dave and I have. The standard license, again, the terminology is ridiculous. It does give you the local version of Office, which Dave and I have, is like $12.50 a month, $12.50. The reason why I haven't given it to everybody. There's a money saving to be had. So this goes on top of that, but it brings it just circles the wagons. I believe that even gives us e-discovery stuff, which right now would be very difficult if we had a legal, lawyer calls us and I need all this stuff. It'd be very difficult to do. Going to this, there's all these loose ends that really just brings together. Still at a pretty decent price. So
I think you gotta do it.
So
I'm planning on it.
is that so that's for staff? That's not for us though, right?
Nothing that you guys
We
have
still have
really
just the
changed.
same
Yeah.
stuff that we have now.
It's really mainly for everybody that's at full-time staff.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't think you need our permission to do.
No,
stuff
it was just more of a
with it.
status
That's great
update.
though.
Yeah.
That's good thought. And I guess that kind of feeds it. Well, if you're not, I'll wait.
Yeah, that's kind of an update on where we're at. We still have 3 video surveillance cameras to set up. I'm trying to get the guy out here to finish that a little bit. Basically, the backside and then the corner of this building, so other than that, that's the big projects we have, well, that I have.
Chris?
I don't have any.
I do have something that it kind of feeds into that with the staffing. I guess now that we've got stuff in place, I know there's been some hiring going on. What I would like, it can be a list. My mind goes to an org chart and a visual guy. But we could just have a staffing list. Here's all of our people. And what I would like to see with that is, in my mind, is the org chart structure, but it doesn't have to be. It can be, but I just want a list of all of our staff and something that identifies, here's our leadership, here's our they're not volunteers now. Here's our reserve staff. Here's our A shift, B shift, C shift. Here's these folks. This is our advanced and this is our basic, who's advanced, who's basic, kind of to the shift, but just like a one pager that says, these are the people that work for our department. And then maybe here's the tier of the organization and how it is. So I think I'll say stabilized. I know I think we're stabilized. I'd like to see it now
Visually, we can do it
In a
in a
list.
tree, that's easy to do.
Well, we have an org chart now.
Yeah.
Just, it's changed a lot over the past 2 or 3 years because there's been so
Yep.
much change. And
Yep. So dust it off, fill in the new names and titles. And what I'd like to see is names, titles. That's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anything else.
Well, I was just gonna tack on to yours. I don't know, I'm assuming that you know, I haven't been here as long as everybody else, but the position descriptions, do our staff sign one, every year saying, this is your position description, if you have any questions about it? Kind of a thing. Are they showing that every year so they can remember?
we have a packet in January and February that everybody signs for like a 1 year thing. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's in there. The core values and
Yeah.
some of the things are in there, but I will double check that we have it.
Well, I know I have to do it every year, so I was just like, well,
You do
shoot,
an ED every year?
Yeah, me
Annually.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Have to sign.
Oh, yeah, we get
I like
the
the
memo
contract.
from HR saying, hey, we're sending out your position descriptions, take a look, sign them.
At 18 HR videos every year.
Well, I believe that.
Including pesticide
We
application.
only do that if there's changes.
That's it.
Or when you onboard. And if it hasn't changed,
It might be every 2 years, but I think it's every.
Talk about being aware, but
I shouldn't admit that out loud. But yeah, I'd like to see something that says, here's our folks. And so I know I've met a lot of folks. It was nice to see folks at the Christmas party. Then I can start putting them into, those are the 2 that work A shift. Those are the 2 that work B shift. These are the reserve force that we have that are filling in on, Tuesdays and Fridays when somebody else is doing something else. So I'd like to see that. I don't know if that's a easy button, or if that's like easy button, I'd see that tomorrow in my email, or if that's like, I'll see it next week sometime. So
There's a lot of administrative stuff that we've already kind of talked about that we're going to kind of pick up because we just know how it could probably be. That'll probably be one of the things. And it's going to be a matter of just simply grabbing a couple of documents and then putting them together if you want them front and back and then tweaking up one way a little bit. Should be too tough.
yeah. So is that tomorrow or is that next week?
I would probably think, there's some pretty heady stuff I got to take care of tomorrow. Okay. So it's probably going to be next week.
Okay. I'd like to see that next week. I don't have anything else. So
And you want to announce about Curtis?
Happy to announce that Curtis passed his EMTA now he's in advanced. Also, he will be obviously doing a bunch of ride time with a lot of our guys. We've talked about potentially sending him to Pendleton to get really some good exposure. So really proud of him. He studied really hard. Probably this morning. So, well, I don't know how to tell you, but I passed. Nice like that.
Good for him.
good
He's
for him.
one of the individuals that the company paid for his schooling, so we were really, really happy that he passed.
That's good. Awesome.
Really happy about that one.
That's a really good of the order. Don't get skipped next time.
Don't play matches.
Well, we'll leave on a good note then. So
Right.
that's a great note to end on, if there's a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
But moved by Greg,
I'll second.
second by Mark. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At 19:27.